One thing I wish I'd learned earlier on in my career was I spent so much time trying to oversell myself. And the biggest mistake I made was trying to sell. It's the hardest thing to tell someone not to sell. What's the secret? The secret is you need to trust your guts, and that's your intuitiveness when actually having a conversation with someone. This is something that we can't teach you on a course. We can't teach you, and you got to learn it. And it's really important to trust your intuitiveness in the sales process. We call it your guts. Your guts talk to you an awful lot, and they speak to you when you're actually in talking to a customer, and you have to trust them. We know when we're hungry. Why? Our stomach rumbles. It says, hey, I'm hungry. And you go off and purchase something. Maybe you've been out drinking with your friends and you've had enough. How do you know you've had enough? Your stomach's saying, hey, come on, time out, buddy. Come on, not the espresso martinis. I don't want to stay up any longer. I'm tired. Your head's talking to you going, come on. Your stomach's going, no, not tequila. You just know, and I'm sure we've all actually listened to those voices and actually overridden them. Well, in sales, it's really important not to ignore those voices, because those voices talk to you. When involved in a conversation, your guts will actually tell you, and as you're holding a conversation with someone, you get a bit of a feeling that the customer's not really interested. You know it, you sense it, and maybe you override it because you want to make the sale. Well, sure enough, you're probably going to upset a customer. So it's really important you actually trust your guts. You trust your gut feeling. And if you go with your guts, sometimes more than you go with your head, you'll make mistakes and people won't sign up, but you'll learn from it. And one thing I look back at my career when selling is when I went with my guts, I learned from that process. I learned from that scenario, and I went with my gut, and I'm proud of that gut. When I went with my head and I went for the sale, in many cases when I shouldn't have done, invariably I didn't get the sale, and obviously there was no learning. So one thing for your guts, they actually do talk to you, and when talking to a customer, I know that as I feel that I'm actually getting the sale, I feel like a tightening of the stomach. It's like, I'm getting the sale, and it gets tighter. What actually happens then, obviously the blood flow goes to your stomach, your voice actually changes, you actually sound a little bit more excited, and I think customers can read you that you think you've got them. And I'm sure we've all worked with a salesperson before, and we're actually reasonably interested, but you can see the salesperson gets excited. They've already spent the commission that the biggest thing I've learned in this career is that through your selling career, or maybe through entrepreneurship or running a business, that there is no such thing as a consistent, even month, year, or career. You're going to have highs and you're going to have lows, both in business and personally. I've never met anyone who says, my life's perfect. Sure. Right, okay, that's on camera. What about off camera? Nowadays, we're faced with Instagram stories of people's lives being amazing, and we're confronted with this, and especially as salespeople, and we're very emotional, that we sometimes get affected by these things. Well, what if things aren't working for you? Let's say your business isn't great, and sales are low, and you've got to show up and be positive and motivated when every part of your body doesn't want to be positive and motivated. What skills and what systems are you going to use that's actually going to help you work through that time? Because what I've learned in business and life, it's a roller coaster. There's some amazing highs. There's closing the deal. There's winning the new business. There's collecting that big commission check and everything's rolling, and that's amazing. There's your wedding day. There's your children's birth. There's some amazing highs in business and life. But there's some huge lows too. And for those people in business, if you're in business for a long time, that seeing a business not work, seeing sales plummet, and right now we've seen a lot of businesses close, and we're going to see more businesses close. Well, what are you going to do during this time, and how are you going to work through that time? Well, it's just really important to make sure that's exactly it. You're going to work through this time. The darkest part of the night is just before the dawn, and you're going to wake up tomorrow, and it's going to be a brand new day, and you've just got to go attack it all over again. For me, I think my success is largely down to the fact that maybe my memory's not too good. Maybe I show up every day, and I'm like, was I supposed to give up and quit yesterday? I think I've forgotten to quit and give up in business thousands of times. I just show up the next day, and I'm like, what was I going to do yet? Quit. Maybe I'll quit tomorrow, but invariably, something good happens on that day. My theory in business is, never quit when things are bad. Quit when things are good. Because if you want to quit when things are good, you probably shouldn't be doing it. And invariably, I haven't quit business. I've been in business for 25 years. I've always felt like giving up, but it was always at the worst point. So invariably, I work through that point, things get better. And you know what? You don't feel like quitting when things are good. So work through the roller coaster of life, work through the roller coaster of business, enjoy the highs, enjoy the positives, and work your way through the challenges. The last piece of advice, if you're going through hell, don't hang around and take photos. Put your foot down and keep powering through. See you on the other side.